alongside bullets with anti-ice inscriptions on them.
Early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ice in nature.
And FBI's Director Kash Patel posting this image of those shell casings found near the suspect's body. They all appear to have engravings on them, and on one of them you might be able to make out the phrase that reads, quote, anti-ice. Vice President J.D. Vance speaking about the shooting earlier today. Listen.
In Dallas, Texas, an ICE facility, an Immigrations and Customs Enforcement facility, was opened fire upon by a violent left-wing extremist, a person who wrote anti-ICE messaging on their bullets. And there's some evidence that we have that's not yet public, but we know this person was politically motivated.
And the Assistant Secretary of DHS posting these images of the Dallas field office after today's shooting. You can see bullet holes in this framed flag and over to a window where you see a bullet hole piercing through the glass of what appears to be someone's desk. Now, this is not the first time ICE offices in Texas have been targeted by instances of violence or threats. You're looking at images from back in August when an attack on an immigration and detention facility happened near Fort Worth, Texas, leaving a local police officer there shot in the neck.
To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop.
All right, the President Donald Trump now weighing in this afternoon, writing in part, quote, the brave men and women of ICE are just trying to do their jobs, adding this violence is the result of the radical left Democrats constantly demonizing law enforcement, calling for ICE to be demolished and comparing ICE officers to Nazis. The president now calling on all Democrats to stop this rhetoric. John and Sam, tonight authorities are now saying they have secured the scene at the ICE Dallas field offices where today's shooting took place, confirming no ICE officers were physically injured as a result of what happened there. John?
Eddie Rose, thank you. One person was hurt after a construction crane toppled over in Malibu. It happened on Broad Beach Road around 10:30 this morning. The view from Sky 5 shows the crane hanging over the edge of the property that leads down to the ocean. The crane operator was trapped in the wreckage for a short time and had to be taken to the hospital. LA County Sheriff's Lost Hill Station is asking people to avoid the area while they work to get the crane back up.
A wild police chase this morning live on KTLA. The driver of a big rig believed to be stolen leads officers through multiple counties before colliding with a SWAT vehicle.
It was a dramatic scene. KTLA's Alina Abovian is live in Buena Park, where the driver was taken into custody. Alina.
Hi there, Sam and John. That's right. It came to an end right here behind us. And this was quite a dramatic morning. We're talking about a possible stolen big rig and potentially a kidnapping.
Multiple units from Fontana PD still behind this.
A dramatic end to an hours-long pursuit of a big rig seen live on KTLA.
Not willing to give up and stop.
It started at 9:30 this morning in Fontana. An officer noticing the license plate numbers on this white big rig did not match the vehicle. The officer attempted to stop the driver, but he fled, heading south on the 57 freeway, going through parts of Orange County, including Anaheim, Buena Park, and Garden Grove.
There it is. Open the door. Okay, drop some now.
At some point, he came to a stop and tossed what appeared to be a water bottle out of the driver's side window and kept going. Soon after, an armored police vehicle attempted something most people had never seen, unsuccessfully attempting a pit maneuver on a big rig cab. By 11 a.m., he finally came to a stop at the intersection of Beach Boulevard and Franklin Street. The big rig boxed in by an armored police vehicle and numerous police SUVs.
Police surrounded the vehicle and they were stuck. They couldn't go anywhere. The police started drawing their weapons. They had a K9 unit come out. So I watched what the guys were doing. I was, a little bit worried if they were going to, try to fire on the officers or not.
Sky 5 capturing the moment the driver and a male passenger surrendered to police. Backing up toward officers, the suspect pushed to the ground, guns drawn, police taking him into custody. The passenger was also taken away, but in an ambulance due to possible injuries. Unknown if he was in the car willing or not.
It's exciting, but it's a little bit nerve-wracking when you see that because you don't know if you're going to get caught in the line of fire if something happens.
Now, thankfully, no one got caught in the line of fire. No other injuries here reported. According to the Fontana Police Department, they say the driver, the passenger, both in custody, being held at the West Valley Detention Center in Rancho Cucamonga. Reporting live here in Buena Park, I'm Lena Bovian, KTLA 5 News.
Late night host Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air after Disney ABC suspended him over comments he made about the Charlie Kirk assassination. But this is likely not the last volley in what has become a free speech battle.
KTLA's Jillian Smuckler joins us live from outside El Capitan Theater in Hollywood with reaction to the comedian's return. Hi, Jillian.
Hi, Sam. Yeah, we are out here again. A much different scene than this time yesterday. It was packed yesterday with so many people waiting to see his return. But today, the question really grows to a more complex issue. There's a lot of things at stake, and this is considered only one part of a much larger showdown. We're talking about political pressures, free speech, and also media companies. Tonight, Jimmy Kimmel is back in the spotlight, but many questions remain. Which stations will air him? What pressure lies ahead? And whether threats of lawsuits will materialize.
I think we have an administration being fairly explicit about trying to go after people like late night hosts that we just haven't seen in the past.
Even though ABC reinstated Kimmel, dozens of its affiliates have declined to air the show. Nexstar, the parent company of KTLA, is one of two major broadcast groups that are holding off on bringing him back to their airwaves. The company released a statement writing, quote, "We're engaged in productive discussions with executives at the Walt Disney Company with a focus on ensuring the program reflects and respects the diverse interests of the communities we serve." Kimmel's return is reigniting debates over censorship and political pressure. In his opening monologue Tuesday night, he called attempts to silence comedians, quote, anti-American.
This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
Critics argue that ABC's initial suspension was too deferential to political interference, especially after a threat from the head of the FCC about licensing consequences for networks. But legal experts warn that the agency lacks authority to revoke broadcast licenses over its content, and that threatening to do so jeopardizes the First Amendment.
Employers can take action against private employees like Jimmy Kimmel just based on we don't like what you're saying, if that's contractually possible. The government cannot itself and or force other people to take action because they don't like the content of what's being said.
In response to Kimmel's return, Donald Trump threatened to sue ABC, calling the reinstatement, quote, a true bunch of losers.
All Donald Trump is doing right now is drawing more attention and publicity to Jimmy Kimmel. And if the president really wanted to make a difference, he should probably just let the market self-correct.
Tonight, the free speech test continues, and the stakes extend far beyond just one late-night host. And going back to those ratings, new numbers actually just came into the newsroom moments ago. So Jimmy Kimmel Live had a record rating period last night. For the first time since his suspension, there were 6 million viewers tuned in. Keep in mind, that's with 23% not able to do it because of those affiliate blackouts. So obviously a big showing. It will be really interesting and telling to see if those ratings hold. But for now, reporting live in Hollywood, Jillian Smuckler, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Jillian, thank you. And we have